You've seen the growth, just the natural progression of a guy like Buffkin. Kobe has turned into a pro, in my opinion. Hunter's seems like he's been here for a long time, and he's only in his third year, but he's a load down low and a force to be reckoned with. And then, the development of Taurus Reed, the addition of Joey Baker, a guy that's been at Duke, seen a lot of success. It's a very good basketball team. And then obviously Jet back in the lineup tonight. We had some heavy hearts. We had an interesting couple of days, very challenging couple of days, mentally and emotionally, with the situation that happened with Jaden in practice. He never ventured very far from our thoughts. Terrence was out in pregame warm-ups wearing Jaden's shirt. That was a scary deal. We were actually relieved to see that it was a concussion. But about the game, it's always nice to win on senior night. It's always nice to see your two seniors contribute at a very high level. But this game to me was about Coleman Hawkins and the minutes played, wrestling at times with Hunter. We played small. We built a big lead with him. His IQ, his feel, his the ability to switch, rip drive, do some things. Did that, but in my opinion, some of the other guys have some better lines, but Coleman Hawkins was absolutely a huge factor. I thought Ty Rogers was incredible tonight. Plus 16 in the plus minus, and what a year, second half of the year he's had and what he's developing into. So it was great to see RJ. Yeah, that's RJ, and rip driving it, hit a three, hit his free throws, and then just, I've said all along, he's one of the better defenders in this league. So, my hat's off to Michigan. I think they're really good. Wish them nothing but the best the rest of the way, but proud of our guys for falling 7 down in overtime with 1:40 to go, and it's very easy. I think there's a little maturity in that. Very easy to just say, well, yeah, we blew it. We made some mistakes at the end of regulation, giving up a 3 to Jet. We just kept hanging in there. And it's the craziness of this team. I use that term in a really positive way. But it's their never die attitude and their ability, and and then Terrence was huge late.
Okay, questions? Jeremy?
Right. Some more big picture, but 20 wins this season for 4 straight years. What's that mean to you?
Consistency. Great programs have consistency. Great programs have consistency. And when you play in the best league in the country with the best coaches and the best venues with the best talent, and you start to establish that, and I'll be very honest, Jeremy, this year means a little more. 90% of our team was gone. We're playing 3 freshmen, a whole bunch. We've got some great non-conference wins. We had to go through some speed bumps to keep our culture. And that's the important piece there. And I don't want entitlement. I don't want that happens. Nothing happens without a lot of really hard work. But consistency is the thing that jumps to my mind. And to do that in this league feels pretty good.
Brad?
For most of the night, you didn't take very many threes tonight. You were concerned with getting to the basket, it seemed like. Is that kind of the focus moving forward here?
Yeah, without giving out too much. I'm really good with Matt shooting 11 of them. Okay, he's a mid to high 30s, low 40s, going to be that type guy. He missed his easiest ones, I still believe in RJ There's no doubt about that. I want him shooting him when he's open. But, you know, the ability to get in the paint when our OER is 1.4, and then we get spray outs and we get threes that way. I'm really good with those. But we draw fouls. I thought Terrence was electric tonight, living in the paint, getting downhill. So, yeah, it was important we do that.
Right, it wasn't long ago, you guys hadn't played in a whole lot of close games. How did you feel like the team handled the tense moments into regulation, into overtime, knowing that March has some of these wild ones?
March has a whole bunch of them. 50-50. You know, those are things we've got to, you know, we came out of the timeout and we're up 3 and, you know, and late and Matt gave up the 3 to Jet and Tars Reed dove down the lane and was going to have a layup. And we got to understand that that's good. That's okay. We're still ahead. That doesn't, and we got to handle some of those situations. We had a play or two offensively. We just broke down and didn't execute. We knew the play, and we just didn't execute it. And you know, I'm always reluctant to call a timeout at different times, especially when you know you need them late. Tonight was a little different, especially knowing we didn't have a point guard in Jaden out there. But yeah, it was, you know, I thought we did some good things. I thought we got every shot we wanted when we were down late, and it was driving it to the rim. You know, we put Terrence in some right situations. We put, you know, we made the change, and instead of Coleman setting the ball screens, we started having Ty Rogers set them because Hunter was guarding him, allowing the switch. TJ made a great play off 2 feet to get Matt a wide open 3 that he just happened to miss, but it was a great play. So I feel pretty solid about that, and you know, maybe could have ended overtime earlier if TJ made a free throw, but he didn't, and we go to the second. We just showed resiliency. So, yeah, you know, you can never be too good in those situations. You've always got to be. But a minute 40 down or a minute 40 on the clock and 7 down, I was pleased to see really good execution there on both ends.
Here to the right.
Knowing Dickinson's a really tough center, one of the best players in the country, what was like what were the challenges presented to you as far as game planning for him?
Couple. One, he's extremely skilled. He's got great touch. He's shooting 40% from the 3. He hasn't shot a bunch of them, but they're the one team in our league that plays really, really big, and they put Taurus in the game. And one of the things that happens when they do that is you have to decide how you want to guard Hunter. And Hunter is an elite passer. And you know, he sees the floor, he's a veteran, he's pretty much done it all. So, you know, he's a very good player, and you got to pick your poison. We mixed up trapping him, we mixed up single coverage with him tonight. And, you know, he's going to get his.
Andy?
How important has Ty been over the past couple of months, especially on the aspect of being able to play different spots based off the different needs you guys have had over the course of the year?
Yeah, Ty's really good, and he can guard multiple positions. Not what he does on the offensive end, but he's great. He's a great screener. He's a great cutter. To go along with his rebounding and then his passing. You know, so we're trying very much to get him in. You know, and dribble up post-ups, and post-ups. I love him coming off ball screens because he's such a good passer. He's always under control. He never gets sped up. So he's been really, really good. Really, really good. I feel really good about him coming off our bench.
Brad, second half against Northwestern, the overtimes tonight, we've seen Terrence and Matt maybe get going together offensively. I guess where can that take you guys, and what are you seeing that's maybe allowing those two to find that right now?
We'll find out. I don't know. You know, we built this team with that in mind. You know, for March. You know, the ability to have when things get really, really hard. I learned a valuable lesson early on when I was at K-State, and you better have somebody when the game's on the line that can go get a bucket. And they take it away, and you know, we played Xavier in a Elite 8 game, and it was Crawford and Jacob Poland, and it was just everything went awry, you couldn't create it, you better have somebody go get a basket. And those guys can both do that. I like that aspect. You know, we have the ability to play small, we have the ability to play big when needed, so we'll find out.
Right here on the left.
You talked about losing that 7-point lead there, and it's kind of a combustible, situation, and, I think you said, guys say, oh, well, whatever it might be. What did you see from your guys in that, the last minute of regulation, the last minute of the first overtime, last minute of the second overtime, when the tension was the highest?
Yeah, it was very calming. I mean, it was upbeat. It was a lot of time, one basket at a time. When you're talking 3 possessions, it's always about a basket. A basket. It's the small wars, the small battles, and just get a basket, cut it to 5. Then we got to stop. We scored. Now it's 1 possession, and you just, this team believes, and for whatever the reason, we've been able to do that all year. 10, 12, 14 down, whatever, and 18 down at half, fall back to. We've just kind of had a unique niche, but this team doesn't rattle, and and then they got guys who can make a few plays.
You're right.
With the atmosphere tonight and going to Purdue against Zach Edey, knowing that you went up against one of the best players like Dickinson, what are you kind of talking about as a coach? What goes through your mind knowing that you went up against one of the best players first, and now you got to go up another one just like him?
Yeah, it's just pretty much every night in this league. We'll see. Zach's 4 inches bigger. He poses different problems. Their team has. I haven't dove into Purdue yet, but I think this league provides tremendous challenges. I think the venues create and support great basketball. And Purdue's is no different. They're our league champion. They've had a phenomenal year. They didn't lose a game in non-league, and they're spent most of the year ranked number 1 for a reason. So different problems, but what the success we had tonight won't be any good if we don't play with the same effort and passion that we did tonight.
Right in the middle.
Coach, Terrence had a bit of a slow start in regulation, but he made up for it in overtime. What went into giving him all those ISO opportunities in OT?
He's our best option. He's our best. We've seen him do that. We saw him do it in Texas, in the Texas win. We've been there, done that before. That's trust. We're gonna ride those guys as long and as far as they'll take us, and it's really that simple. We put the ball in Ty's hands and shortened TJ's runway a little bit with some zooms where he didn't have to just play with it out there. But you dance with who brought you to the dance, and that's where we're at.
Jeremy?
What's it like to coach a team with the highs and lows of this one, and how do you?
If Paul was here, I'd take my blood pressure. It's as crazy as it sounds, it's a little bit comforting because you're never out of it, and you've got, and I use the term real dudes. You've got guys who can go make those plays, and I think we've been resilient that way, and so they've got me believing. And slow start, we'll be okay. Down 10, just 1 possession at a time. I kind of know what to say now, and how to react to it, because it's been, it'd be nice if we didn't do it, but we do.
Excuse me. Yes, with Jaden, do you have any more information or clarity on his status right now?
Done.
Joey, then we'll go to that.
Just one more about TJ and Matt. Matt talked about they kind of can take turns, he hit those 5 straight, and then TJ in the second overtime kind of took over. Do you interject at all, or do they have the instincts to kind of figure out when is the time
No,
to?
we were, a little bit of it tonight was fatigue, and a little bit of it tonight was matchup. A lot of it was matchup. We got certain areas we like to get Matt, and Matt got downhill, got got a couple easy ones at the rim, based on the matchup. They made a substitution when Torres fouled out and put Hunter on ties. We kind of switched some things up there. So it's kind of a, you know, and, you know, I trust Matt 100%. I mean, I'm not sure after the 2 missed free throws that he was in a great frame of mind, but with Matt, I mean, he's probably thinking about drinking his next Monster. I don't know. He was going to make baskets. So.
Brad, on that line, I'm just curious, when Matt tells you he has caffeine poisoning, what's the response?
He didn't tell me that. I didn't. I knew he was sick and didn't feel well, but you know, it's kind of hard to make some of that up, you know. And I just said, why? Why? I mean, what? You know, what? But yeah. Next, I don't know. Nothing. I did. I mean, he was sick. He went to practice. He felt terrible the day after the game, and that could probably do it.
Does anything surprise you with him?
No. Good or bad? I mean, he's interesting.
Sure. That is fact. All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.